Good evening. I'm Art Winslow. I've been on the board since 2004 in modern times, but in the 1990s, from 1993 to 2000, I was on the board as well, and I was president in the later 90s. So I'm both nouveau and retro, and I'll try to address a little bit of each of those, but I drew out our list of finalists from the 1997 publishing year for the awards that were 1998, given in 1998, just to explode a little bit the myth of the winning book, because I think our finalist lists are every bit as important. And that year in fiction, for instance, we debated between Don DeLillo's Underworld, Penelope Fitzgerald's The Blue Flower, Charles Frazier's Cold Mountain, Andre McKean's Dreams of My Russian Summers, and Philip Roth's American Pastoral. Imagine trying to discern which is the better book among those. And Mr. Doctorow mentioned critics and writers at one point being opposing camps, and I would say the critics on our own can be opposing camps, and we often are. That year in biography and autobiography, we had J.M. Coetzee, Joseph Ellis, Hermione Lee, Doris Lessing, and James Tobin to choose between. In general nonfiction, Ann Fadiman, John Krakauer, James Kugel, Pauline Mayer, Steven Pinker. In poetry, Frank Bedart, Brenda Hillman, Mark Jarman, Sonia Sanchez, and Charles Wright. In criticism, John Brewer, Vivian Gornick, Alfred Kazin, Mario Vargas Llosa, Helen Vendler, to choose among. And I would say for me, it's been an honor to serve and argue with the other people about this. The rigor that my colleagues display is a wonder to behold. I'd like to address briefly the technological issues, because I think I was the last president of the organization to serve before the full implementation of email. We actually wrote up our minutes and our reading lists on a substance, material called paper, and printed it out, stuck it in an envelope where it was stamped with the date and a certain coinage, and voila, days later, people would receive our message. That, of course, has changed. And what I wanted to mention is that email actually changed behavior, and behavior changed the mindset. And I mention this because I think the publishing industry is at an analogous position today with ebooks available, which will probably grow as a proportion of books. But what I'd like to say is that books are wonderful, handsome, and even beautiful physical artifacts of a conceptual entity. And that conceptual entity is every bit as present in an ebook. And that this is an exciting time, actually. There are turbulent times in a financial sense for people figuring out how to publish work. But that conceptual center of the book will remain despite the technology. So I see this as an exciting time, and I'm happy to be here as both a reader and a critic. Thank you.